My name is Sheila Mayes Macala, first year Mindanao State University College of Law student under Section Socrates. Today, I'm going to be presenting to you a case in relation to Article 21 of the National Civil Code of the Philippines, which states that any person who willfully causes loss or injury to another in a manner contrary to morals, good customs, and public policy shall compensate the latter for the damage. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a brief overview of some situations where the law can be applied.
Balita ron. Joy, labas pa kang chismis. Tay, kabalita ka, nagtahanan si Lolita, day. Tunong silingan, guna maestra. Ha, ka, day, tinuod ka? Joy, ulang dagang kay pulis sa ilang balay. Nakita, kay iyahan, di naman makita si Lolita. Ang nabilin na siyang parador, day, kay naado papil. Nasulat gikan siyang uyab, og kabalo, baka kinsa man. Di Alfonso, day. Ka-remember ka tong incheck nga nagatrabaho dito sa La Perla Cigar, day. Katong ilahabang adapted sa iyahang angkol. Gitreat baya siyang paryente day tapos giunay day niyog uyab day. Diha ka? Tuod ka kordapya. Pataka diri suryama. Kasuhan biya ta. Tinuod jud day nagsugod daw na sa ano day. Nagpatudlo na si Alfonso Rosario day. Yang ate man ako na storya. Nagpatudlo na Rosario si Alfonso sige bisita sa ilang balay. Tapos di ay lahi naman di ay gitudloan. Daghan di ang chismis day nga dito daw na sila magtabuan sa buak. Dito gud sa area kung asa gatudlo na si Lolita. Sa baryo ba? Tinuod ka? Hoy, kaskandalo ba? Tinuod yun day, waray halong char. Labaas pa ka na day, karon nagtanan na sila, di na makita si Lolita. Mauto, nagkasuhanay na yata na sila. Naabot man sa kaso. Ay, day, kabalaya kang ginyo tong isa day. Unya, nachismis na, naulawan ng pamilya ni Lolita day. Patay na ginaron.
We have here the case for Cecilio P. et al. Versus Alfonso P. GR number L-173496, May 30, 1962. Before we proceed to the facts, let me introduce you to the parties involved. Plaintiff in the name of Cecilio P. et al. Are the parents, brothers, and sisters of one Lolita P., 24 years old and married, and was staying with her parents in Gasan, Marinduque. Defendant in the name of Alfonso P. is a married man who works as agent of La Perla Cigar and Cigarette Company. He used to stay in the town of Gasan, Marinduque in connection with his aforesaid occupation. He was an adopted son of a Chinaman named Pe Baco, a collateral relative of Lolita's father. Because of such fact and the similarity in their family name, defendant became close to the plaintiff, who regarded him as a member of the family. The facts of the case. In 1952, defendant frequently visited the house of Lolita on the pretext that he wanted her to teach him how to pray the rosary. Eventually, they fell in love with each other and conducted clandestine trials not only in the town of Gasan but also in Boac, where Lolita used to become a barrio teacher. They exchanged love notes with each other, the context of which revealed not only their infatuation with each other but also the extent to which they had carried on their relationship. In 1955, rumors about their love affair reached the ears of Lolita's parents, and since then, the defendant was forbidden from going to their house and from further seeing Lolita. The plaintiffs even filed deportation proceeding against the defendant, who is a Chinese national. The affair between defendant and Lolita continued nonetheless. Sometime in April 1957, Lolita was staying with her brothers and sisters at their residence in 54B España Extension, Quezon City. On April 14, 1957, however, Lolita disappeared from the said house. After Lolita left, her brothers and sisters checked up her things and found that all her clothes were gone. However, plaintiff found a note on a crumpled piece of paper inside Lolita's aparador. Said note, written on a small slip of paper approximately 4 by 3 inches, was in handwriting recognized to be that of the defendant. The disappearance of Lolita was reported to the police authorities and the NBI, but up to the present, there was no news or trace of her whereabouts. Plaintiffs brought this action before the Court of First Instance, or the former name of the Regional Trial Court of Manila, to recover moral, compensatory, exemplary, and corrective damage in the amount of 94,000 exclusive of attorney's fees and expenses for litigation. Defendant, after denying some allegations contained in the complaint, set up as a defense that the facts alleged therein, even if true, do not constitute a valid cause of action. RTC ruling. The lower court dismissed the complaint, declaring that the defendant cannot be held liable for moral damage it appearing that plaintiff failed to prove that the defendant, being aware of his marital status, deliberately and in bad faith trying to win Lolita's affection. It said, in the absence of proof on this point, the court may not presume that it was the defendant who deliberately induced such relationship. We cannot be unmindful of the uncertainties and sometimes inexplicable mysteries of human emotion. It is a possibility that the defendant and Lolita simply fell in love with each other, not only without any desire on their part, but also against their better judgment and in full consciousness of what it will bring to them. It is especially so with respect to Lolita being an unmarried woman falling in love with the defendant who is a married man. The issue of the case is whether or not the defendant, Alfonso P., committed injury to Lolita's family in a manner contrary to morals, good customs, and public policy as contemplated in Article 21 of the National Civil Code. The ruling: yes, Alfonso P. has committed injury to the family of Lolita in a manner contrary to morals, good customs, and public policy as contemplated in Article 21 of the National Civil Code. Under the law, any person who willfully causes injury to another in a manner which is contrary to morals, good customs, or public policy shall compensate the latter for the damage. In this case, the wrong committed by the defendant is immeasurable considering the fact that he is a married man. Verily, he has committed injury to the plaintiff in a manner contrary to morals, good customs, and public policy. He had took advantage of the trust of the plaintiffs who considered him as a family member. Through his ingenious schemes and trickery, even used the guise of praying the rosary, he seduced Lolita to the extent of making her fall in love with him, which later on caused rumors to spread. Even after steps made by the plaintiff to stop the affair, even went as far as filing deportation proceedings against the defendant, the affair in between Lolita and the defendant still persisted. No other conclusion can be drawn from this chain of events than the defendant not only deliberately but through a clever strategy succeeded in winning the affection and love of Lolita to the extent of having illicit relation with her. Supreme Court ordered for the defendant to pay 5,000 pesos for moral damages and 2,000 pesos for attorney's fees. Thank you.